Okay, in this video, we will be solving another PLSQL program. So pause the video and go through the question. I hope you have gone through the question. I'll just summarize what we have been asked to do here. We have to create a table which will store some relevant details of items. Now, if you read the entire question, you will understand that we have not been given the attributes that we have to deal with. But by going through the question, we can understand that item is, or let's say the item price is a relevant detail which we can store. The item quantity is another relevant detail which can be stored. And along with that, what we'll do is we'll use an ID attribute which will identify every item uniquely. Now we have been asked to create a table which will store details of items, relevant details. We have, so like I said, I pointed out that the three relevant details that we will be dealing with are the ID, price, and quantity. Now we have to insert the details of a few items. The quantity of those items which happen to be more than 100 have to be increased. Increased in terms of what? The price of those items have to be increased by 20%. The price of those items has to be increased by 20%. And also those items which undergo an updation in terms of price have to be stored in a separate table. So I hope you have understood this. Now, what we have to do is we have to first create the original item table, which will contain all the relevant details. And we'll have to write a PLSQL code which will check every row for the quantity. If the quantity of a particular row happens to be more than 100, we'll increase the price by 20%. And we will also store this updated row in a separate table called, let's say, new item. So first thing that we'll do is we'll create the two tables. So let me create the two tables for you, and then we'll move on to the PLSQL code. So let's go on and create a table. So we'll call our table item, and we'll store the ID, give it a type of integer, make it a primary key. The quantity will also be an integer attribute because you can't get items in fractional quantity, right? Like most items are not sold in terms of fractional quantity. So we'll keep the quantity data type as integer, but the price will be such that it can store fractional values. So I'll make it of type number, and I'll say it's 5,2. Here 5,2 means every price attribute value will be of length 5 digits. That means including the places before the decimal point as well as after the decimal point, you'll have 5 places, and there'll be a maximum of 2 places after the decimal point. So to the right of the decimal point, you can have a maximum of 2 places, and you can have a total of 5 significant digits in the attribute value. So with this in mind, let's just create the table item. So let me just copy this here and paste it. And as you can see that a table has been successfully created. Now what we'll do is we'll create a separate table called new item. So I'll just bring out, I'll bring up the previous command and I'll just make one change. I'll call it new item, which will contain the records which have undergone an update. And now we have two tables with us. Now we have to insert 5 records. We have to insert 5 records into our item table. So let's do that. So I'll say insert into, the table name is item. And since I'll be inserting values for all attributes, I don't need to list out the attributes present. I can directly go into my values list and specify the values that I want to insert. So for ID, I'm using 1. Let's say the quantity is 48 and the price is 5. I'll simply copy this and paste it. So I have 5 records. So I'll just change the values. So make this ID 2, 3, 4, and 5. The ID attribute values have to be unique. because it is my primary key. Let's say the second item has a quantity value of 48 and 148 and a price of, let's say, 2. Third one has a quantity attribute value of, let's say, 70, price of 4. The fourth one has quantity attribute of 100 and a price of 6. And the fifth one has a quantity attribute value 200 and a price of 10. Now we can simply copy these commands and paste it in our prompt. So if I paste this, I get 5 rows. Now, just to be doubly sure, let's do a select star from our item table. So as you can see that the 5 rows that we inserted are successfully showing up. Okay. Now we are ready for some PLSQL code. But before going into the PLSQL part, there's one thing that I want you to look at. It has been said that it has to be increased. The price has to be increased by 20%. Now, this requires a certain understanding. I know it's very trivial for most of you, but I just want to be absolutely sure that every part of it is clear. Every part of what I'm doing here is absolutely clear to you. So I don't want to take any chances. I want to explain this part. So by 20% increase, what it means is, let's say the old price, or let's say the current price. The current price is X. The current price is X. The increase that we want is 20%. So the increased value will be the current price plus my increase. Now the increase of 20%. So how do I calculate the increase? I'll calculate the increase as, so I'll take 20. So it's 20 divided by 100. So it's 20%, 20% of my current price. My current price is X. So I'll say 20 by 100 into X. Now this 20 by 100 into X, this can be written as this 20 divided by 100, this part. I can rewrite this as 0.2 times X. As a result, my increased value, this one, I'm talking about this one, this increased value, I can write this as, what is my current price? My current price is X. And what is my increase? My increase is 0.2 times X. So that is 0.2 times X. So if I add up these two, if I add X plus 0.2 times X, I get 1.2 times X. So the updation will include this expression, the updation statement, where I'll change the price. I'll include this statement of 1.2 times X. Just wanted to make things clear. Now let's move on to writing some PLSQL code. So we'll start off with our declare section for obvious reasons. So in our declare section, what we'll have is, so we'll declare the variables that we require. We require a variable to loop over every record, and its type will be integer. I'll initialize it with 1. I require a variable to store the total number of records in my table, although it's very clear to you that we have 5 records in this table, but it may happen that the number of records increase or decrease from time to time. That's why it is better to find out the number of records from the table by writing a command. I need a variable which will store the quantity attribute value of every row one at a time. And I need an mPrice attribute which will store the price attribute value of every row one at a time. So I have a begin section, and now in the begin section I'll write some executable code. The first thing that I'll do is I'll find out the total number of rows present in my table. Now in order to find the total number of rows, there is an aggregate function called count star. So if I say select count star from my table item, I'm getting this value of 5. Now what I want to do is I want to store this value 5 in a variable so that I can iterate over my entire table one row at a time. So I'll say select count star into, I'll use the into clause to take the value returned by count star and store it in the variable number of rows from the table item. So what this will do is it will simply take the output of count star and store it in the variable number of rows. So this will help to iterate over the entire table one at a time. Now I'll say while loop var. So this is my loop condition. So I'll iterate till the time I have not seen all the records. So this is the loop condition. And then I have to check for every row, I have to find out the quantity value. Why? Because if the quantity happens to be greater than 100, I'll move on with the update operation as well as the insertion operation. So let me first find out the quantity attribute value for my current row. So how do I do that? I say select quantity into quant. So what I do is I select the quantity attribute value and I place it inside a variable called quant, which I declared earlier from the table item. And I want to do it only for the row where the ID attribute value is same as the loop control variable value. So my current loop control variable value is 1. Now for which row does the ID value match with the value of 1? It matches for the first row. Similarly, when loop var becomes 2, the ID attribute value will match only for the second row. So we'll deal with the second row at that time. In the third iteration, loop var will become 3. Then the ID attribute value will match for the third row with the loop var value. So we'll process the third row. In this way, we can process one row at a time. So in order to be able to process one row at a time, we have this condition, this where clause. Now we'll check. What we'll check? We'll check that if the quantity happens to be greater than 100, then we'll update. What will we update? We will update the table item. So we'll write update item and we will change the price attribute. So we'll say set price. So what will it be changed to? It will be changed to this increased value of 1.2 times x. So where x is my current price. So I'll say that my new price, which should be reflected in my table, is 1.2 times my current price value. So that's 1.2 times price, where my ID matches with loop var. That means I'm doing it for the current row. I'm doing it for one row at a time. And which row am I doing? The row number matches with that of loop var. The row number for which I have the same value as loop var, I'll be updating only that row. And provided this condition is satisfied before, this condition that you can see that the quantity is greater than 100, provided this condition is satisfied, we'll proceed with the update operation. And along with that, we also need to insert, right? We need to insert this updated record into our new table. So for that, we need an insert statement. Now, before going on to the insert statement, we have to insert values for all the attributes. That means we need to insert value for ID, we need to insert value for quantity, as well as for price. Now the price, we already have it with us. We have it, the price attribute. In fact, what happens is the price attribute has been updated because of this update statement. Now we need to extract this updated price. So in order to extract the updated price, we'll use the select clause. So we'll say select price. So select the attribute whose value you want to extract, and into mprice, select the variable in which you want to place this extracted value. From which table? From the item table, where the ID matches the current value of loop var. That means I am talking about my current row, which is denoted by the loop var value. So whatever is the value of loop var, it will match with only one row's ID. See, if my loop var is 2, it will match with only the ID value or only with the ID attribute of the second row. So I'll be processing only second row at a time, right? So one at a time, you'll be processing one row. And in order to be able to do that, we have this where clause. So now that we have the price attribute with us, we can simply insert the record. So see, we need values of three attributes. We need the value of the ID attribute. Now we can get the ID attribute value from the loop var variable. We need one more attribute value. We need as you can see, we need the quantity attribute value. Now the quantity attribute value is already found in the quant variable. I already have it in the quant variable, so that is there. And the only thing that I did not have was the updated price value. And in order to extract, or in order to get the updated price value, I have this statement. Now I can simply write an insert into statement. So I can say insert into, and what is the table in which I want to insert my updated row? The name of the table, if you remember, is new underscore item, which we created previously. And I'll say values, and I'll mention the attributes in this order. So what should be the order that I should follow? First, I need to specify the value for ID, then the value for quantity, and then the value for price. Like I said, loop var will give me the value of ID. The variable quant will give me the value for quantity, and mprice will give me the value for the price attribute. So this insert into statement will take care of it. And then I can say end if, I'll give a semicolon, and I need to update my loop variable, my loop control variable, so that I can process the second row in my next iteration. And after this, I'll simply end off my loop. I'll end off my PLSQL code. I'll give a forward slash, which will mark the end of the block. Now I'll copy this and I'll paste it. Now I'll hit the enter statement, and okay, I think we have an error here. So we have an error at line number 9. Just give me a moment. I'll fix this and come back to you. So if you observe, by mistake, instead of using the keyword loop, I've used the word rather, do. Do is not a keyword in PLSQL, so I replace that with loop. I'll simply copy this and I'll paste it. So let me just clear the screen for you. Now just do a select star on item. Okay. Oh, I missed the from clause. Okay. I'm being a bit sloppy here. Please excuse me. So I'll say select star from item. And as you can see, this is the content of the table before I run the PLSQL code. Now I'll paste the PLSQL code and I'll hit enter. And again, I think we have another problem here, that the number of rows has not been declared. I'm getting an unusual number of errors here. Just give me a moment again. Okay, I've been a bit sloppy here. I've used the variable number of records and number of rows at different places. So I should see, this is number of records, right? The variable is number of records, and I've used number of rows here. So that's a mistake on my part. So I'll change that to number of records. Sorry about that. Again, I'll just clear the screen for you. This is taking an unusual amount of time. Generally doesn't happen this way. Anyway, that's the problems that you face for live coding. Okay, now finally my PLSQL procedure has been successfully completed. Okay, now if you remember, if you just go back a bit, rewind the video, you will see the content of the table item before this procedure was executed. Now after executing this procedure, let me show you the content of the table item. So I'll say select star from item. And if you observe that row number 2 and row number 5, their price values have undergone a change. And you can verify this if you do another select star from new underscore item. As you can see, for row number 2 and for row number 5, we have the updated values or the updated records present. So it's quite clear, right? Row number 2 has an item whose quantity is more than 100, so it needed to undergo an update operation, and that is what has happened. It had an initial price of 2 and now it has become 2.4. Similarly, for row number 5, if you remember, the price was, I think if I remember correctly, the price was, just give me a moment. So if I remember correctly, the price for row number 5 was 10. If you can rewind the video, you will find it out, right? The price, the record which I had inserted for row number 5, the price was 10. Now if you increase it by 20%, because its quantity is 200, which is greater than 100, its price should become 12, and that is what is the case. So row number 2 and row number 5 have been successfully updated, and the remaining rows, since they do not have a quantity value of more than 100, have remained unchanged, and only the updated rows show up in my new underscore item table. So I hope this part is clear to you. Just go through the video once and practice it by yourself. If you have any doubts, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one.